Hey, Podcast Nation, Facebook Nation, Twitter Nation, LinkedIn Nation, all of my fans, everyone, all of you, your attention is our oxygen here at Women Media. Once again, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's our perspective. So, what I was going to do today was a daily Q&A with the Two Brothers podcast and the Two Brothers duo, and the question is, why time control is so important? And number one, time control is so important because our resources are valuable, right? And our resources in life are very limited. They're primarily our time, our energy, and our money, as well as our health. So those are some of the most valuable and priceless resources we'll ever have. Without those, you don't have very much. So we need to have our time, our energy, and our money, and we need to have control of them. A lot of us don't have control of our time, our energy, and our money. And once you find control, you then find empowerment, responsibility, and accountability, as well as the feeling of joy, because you're now empowered and you now are capable and responsible for your success or your failures. Both are very powerful, because once I'm responsible for failing or succeeding, I now feel completely empowered, right? And ultimately, as humans, we are capable, we are empowered, and we have the abilities. We just have to find the awareness and perspective. This is why my perspective and my awareness, to me, is my most valuable asset. And that's why I've gained that perspective and awareness to realizing my happiness is what I value most, and doing what I love and not spending my whole life living like everyone else or doing what everyone else is doing just because they're doing that and everyone else is doing that and I'm supposed to do it because they're doing it. No. I've decided at a younger age I wanted to be different, so I took a path that was less traveled, a path of more friction, more struggle, more difficulties, and more sacrifice, but it has led me to an area where no one else is, because if you think about the people that have major success or do amazing things in life, they are taking paths less traveled. And it all correlates back to friction-free living and people that are addicted to speed. As humans and as a society, we are addicted to speed. We're addicted to friction-free living. We want anything and everything that is easier and softer. And we want to fit in, but at the same time, we want all the money and all the success and all the fame without taking the path that you have to travel and do the work that has to be done and sacrifice what has to be sacrificed to get there. So it's really interesting. And ultimately, time control is the most valuable, because once we have time control, we start to gain perspective and awareness of where our resources are being devoted, our time, our energy, and our money. And in order to gain control of our time, our energy, and our money, we need to minimize our debt obligations, our liabilities financially, and so debts, liabilities, and financial obligations. By doing that, if we minimize those three, we then minimize our lifestyle and way of living, that we can live off less. And by doing so, you then can pursue your passions for profit. And when I minimize my financial obligations, debts, and liabilities, I now feel empowered and I now have more time control, because I don't have to spend my time and my energy on a daily basis just trying to earn those dollars to just pay off those debts and those obligations just to skate by and survive. So by doing so, you're going to find empowerment, accountability, and responsibility, because once the day comes that you are in control of your time and your energy and your money, you then can no longer blame anyone else. You are now the one solely and responsible for deciding where you devote those resources, and those resources are key to your success. Our time, our energy, and our money are what we use to devote to what we believe in and what we want, or what we want to achieve. So most of us are, if we audit our income and our actions, we're spending on stuff that doesn't necessarily bring us happiness. It's extrinsic stuff like clothes, cars, money, jewelry, and fitting in with society, and being a 9-to-5 worker that has a house bill, that has a car payment, etc., 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 as opposed to devoting our time, our energy, and our money to happiness, to doing something that brings us happiness and fulfillment and joy. So fulfillment and joy is essential, because once we start living a life where we are in control of our time, our energy, and our money, and we can start devoting our resources to happiness and doing something we love, and that brings us fulfillment, we then start to see a correlation between unhealthy escapism and fantasizing about other people that are living that life, and then actually being the one that's taking the actions necessary to live that life that we want to live, that life where we're adventurous and having experiences and doing things we love and enjoy and happy and content and feel fulfilled, but yet still challenging ourselves and pushing us to be more and do more. So ultimately, this is very essential. It's a very crucial topic, is time control, empowerment, accountability, and responsibility, as well as lowering my debt, my financial obligations, and my financial liabilities, so that I then have control of my resources, being my time, my energy, and my money, to devote them to what makes me happy, and shift the ROI, instead of being focused on money and society's approval, switch the ROI to happiness and fulfillment and excitement and joy. So whatever brings you happiness, fulfillment, excitement, and joy, this is what we suggest people start pursuing. That's why we talk about pursuing our passions for profit at Weirman Media, and we want to help you do that. And the fastest way to do so is by gaining control of your time, as well as your money and your energy. Those are your three most valuable resources as a human. As long as you're alive, healthy, and breathing and living in America, we're ahead of the majority of the world. And we're alive, healthy, breathing, and in America. If you can gain control of your income, your actions, and your time and energy, you're gonna then start to have a lot more success and feel a lot more empowered, accountable, and responsible. Because now it's time to stop blaming other people, other factors, other circumstances, other people, places, and things for your failures and lack of success, and start looking at myself and blaming myself and taking accountability and responsibility for my success and failures. And that comes from having time control and minimizing my debts and obligations and financial liabilities, because then I have more ability to devote my resources to pursuing happiness in a life of fulfillment, as well as a life pursuing my passions for profit. So start spending your life doing something you love and enjoy and believe in, and stop doing something just because everyone else is doing it and the society says that's what you should be doing. And let's start auditing our income and our actions and gaining control of our time, so that we then have accountability, responsibility, and empowerment, and can devote our resources, our most valuable, precious resources of our time and our energy and our money, to pursuing happiness and pursuing our passions for profit.